All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We remain standing for a moment, please. Just like to have a moment of silence in honor of all those who lost their lives and give their lives and their families for 9/11. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the Planning Board meeting of September 11th, 2025. I'm going to switch around the agenda a little bit to try to speed things up tonight. First on the agenda is number 9, Festo, 52 Craft Road for regrading application. I'm just changing the agenda.
Never give
Mike.
Jack favors.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know.
Rich?
So this is application regarding the regrading and leveling of a backyard located at the reference location, 52 Crafts Road. There was some work done at the site. The overall disturbance was 10,900 square feet, which is above the threshold for New York State stormwater regulations. Development of a stormwater pollution prevention plan is required with just erosion sediment controls. Comments, which I had provided to Jack before, and he tried to get me information at 4:30 today, but he needs to submit it. Provide a survey separate from the site plan. Bring manifest for the fill material. Provide a SWIP and a construction sequence, and various information as part of the Section 15643 assessment of runoff so as not to cause erosion, landslides, or increased runoff. Location of the proposed portion to be disturbed in relation to natural water courses, if any, within 300-foot boundaries of said portion. Location of any wells and depth thereof. Location of natural water courses in any location. So, those are my comments.
And Pat?
There's really no planning issues with respect to this, Mr. Chairman. The fill is behind the house as you look at the house. It's in the rear yard.
Okay, thank you. Jack, please explain what happened with this applicant, why all of a sudden you're coming forward after the fact?
Well, I submitted a response memorandum to Rich's original comments.
He's asking why they're here.
Why, what?
He's asking why they're here. What happened to lead to the application?
Oh, all right, well, Mike Festo on North County Electric, they bought this house on the Crafts Road, and they put in 80 yards of clean fill. We got documentation that the fill was clean. It came from the Mercedes construction site on Route 684, and 80 yards. But the previous owner put in like maybe 500, 600, 700, 800 yards of fill. And you can see where, Rich has aerial photos from years ago and from now, and you can see where the fill was placed years ago, but it wasn't placed by Festo. And now they have seeded it with a grass mix, and it's all grass. It's all lawn. They're not going to do anything else to this property, except maybe put a little more seed down. One of the comments Rich had was he's concerned about the stability of the property grades slightly to in the rear, and then eventually to a stream. It drops off and it's to a stream. And I was out there several times. We had pictures. I sent Rich pictures. That slope is stable. I mean, there's nothing else for us to do. There's no need for a stormwater permit. We're not going to do any more grading, any more digging, anything. We just want to comply with the code that requires over a certain amount of fill. And Rich or Pat can tell us what trips the amount of fill that was brought in. But we have, and I sent, Rich, I sent you the amount of fill, the invoice from the company, and then I thought I sent you the sample results, but it's like a 20-page document. And I do have the survey here, the original survey that we got, that is my base map.
Rich, go ahead. I think, do you
Yeah,
have,
so-
do you
so
have documentation that says this is
There's
clean?
pieces of the puzzle here that need to kind of be jigsawed together, right?
Yeah.
What Jack said is 100% correct, except that 5 o'clock today is when he sent me the soil results and the survey. Regardless of that fact, I had given him comments which were mimicking my memo prior to this, asking for the survey, asking for those soil results. When the information came in, it wasn't there, that's why my comments are there. So they can be back on for next week's meeting, and they can certainly move forward and get their regrading permit once that information's in here and it's able to be reviewed at the next meeting. There is a wetlands there. There is a stream that passes through there. There is a sharp drop that goes off over there. The site is pretty much stabilized. There is no threshold. It's 5,000 square foot of disturbance, whether it's one truckload that you disturb and do a whole bunch of dirt with and disturb the area, or it's 80 yards, right, cubic yards. There's no threshold. It's 5,000 square feet. 5,000 square feet of disturbance was done on this site. The erosion sediment control plan and SWIP are required per New York State code. So that's,
So do you have documentation that this is clean, Phil?
well, Jack has it with him now, but he needs really to submit it through Rose and get it in here so I can review it. So the answer is yes, he has it, but it was not provided as part of the package for me to review. So, yeah, I'll review it, and it probably is clean. If it was from the Mercedes site, and that was a virgin site, the way New York State soil laws are written, if it was a virgin site over there and they're taking it and just moving it somewhere else, you're pretty much good. If it was a disturbed site prior, that's where you have to worry about it, right? That's where you have to worry about the brownfield issues and everything else. But, hopefully the applicant learns that, let's seek permission versus forgiveness before we go forward.
The cleanliness of the fill, that's only for the fill that the current owner has placed as opposed to what was done previously?
I haven't seen the data.
No, I'm asking what is required.
I have no idea. So again, we're not here to talk about the prior owner. The prior owner has passed away or has
Okay,
gone.
so this is just the
we're here to
current
talk about
actions.
the
Okay.
actions of the applicant, who owns the house right now. There might have been fill in there. Jack was the town engineer all those years, and if he's saying that's happened, then I concur with him. He said that there was fill brought in by that person.
So assuming you're okay with whatever documents he submitted about cleanliness of the existing fill or the current fill issue, is there any other issue?
Pretty much no.
Okay.
Pat, you didn't have any comments, did you? No. Comments from the board?
What are the slopes we're talking about here on the backside?
Probably 1 on 3, 1 on 4, and it's vegetated. It's not going anywhere. And it was done by the previous owner. And never mind. That'll be fine if we can come back and get an approval resolution at the next meeting when I get the information to Rich.
Any other comments from the board?
I think once Rich has a chance to review the soil samples, and we confirm that it's fine, we'll just advance it in the next meeting.
Can we get a draft resolution at the
Well,
next
we
meeting?
can, we need to schedule a public hearing on this. I'm curious to hear from I think it's good for us to hear from the public, but we're not going to go any further unless Rich is satisfied, like Anthony just mentioned.
Pat, you say you wanted a public hearing?
Public hearing's not required for a steep slope, but you have them occasionally if you want to do.
Well, how did this come in front of the board to begin with?
I think there was a complaint, Rich, right?
A notice of violation was issued for the stormwater and wetlands issues, so they're here to rectify a notice of violation.
Well, then we should have a public hearing, in my opinion. You guys okay with that?
We can get a resolution drafted.
And you can draft a resolution
We
in
can do that,
parallel.
don't lose any.
At the same time?
Yep.
And then, okay, thank you.
Someone make a motion to schedule a public hearing?
Sir, I'll make a
Chairman.
motion. Go ahead, sir.
Good.
You're younger, you're better looking.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for this.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the resolution?
The
draft
resolution be prepared
And the
If,
resolution.
if everything's satisfied with Rich.
Yeah, make sure everything gets submitted to Rose, through
Yeah.
Rose, and then it'll come to all
I'll
of
take
us.
care of that.
Hard copies.
Yeah.
You got it here, but you don't want to take it.
We're not gonna
Thank
go
you
any-
very much.
We're
I'm not
gonna go
printing
any
your
further with
paperwork, you
this.
print it.
Okay,
We are not gonna go any further with this unless we satisfied.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Is, Old Forge here? Yeah. You wanna come up? Try to get you out a little early here. This is the 8th item on the agenda. Mike, did you have any comments on Old Forge?
I have no comments.
And Rich?
No objection to granting the preliminary subdivision extension, as there are no changes being made to the site.
And Pat?
Likewise, no objection, Mr. Chairman.
Please give us a reason why you're looking for another subdivision.
Because we're in front of, we're in front of the Attorney General to get the homeowner association approved.
Great.
That- We got the lawyers all sending the paperwork up to
So
Attorney
we're gonna
General.
assume this is the last 180-day extension?
Hopefully, yes, I'm hoping. Because we just had to, we had to wait paperwork from the lawyer and all that to get some wording right. And then just contacted my lawyer last week, and he said he's drafting the paper to hand it to Attorney General.
Yeah, they just made their transportation corporation for that group for whatever their things are, so that's
Yeah.
where you are now.
Yeah, so and the speedies permit. We're doing those two things. So
make a
we
motion.
should be, hopefully, they said it should take around 4 months.
It's 180 days.
180 day.
I'll make a motion to grant an extension of the preliminary subdivision approval for 180 days.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. A little out of order, but I think that was more efficient that way. No. We're going back to the top. Third on the agenda tonight, Carmel Residential, 119 Seminary Hill Road. Mike?
Yeah, variances are required for the following: distance between buildings and Lot 2 lot area. I did a typo, it should be 46, 482, I'll correct that when he makes application. And Lot 2 side yard, 50 foot required, 32 feet provided, 18-foot variance.
Thank you. And Rich?
So the applicant's here for a secret negative deck, resolution, neg deck resolution. There are some minimal comments that I have, but they've been moving forward and addressing the comments that I've been putting forward.
And Pat?
You have a draft negative declaration resolution before you this evening, Mr. Chairman.
So, you need to go to zoning board for a variance, but, right, why did we design, if I understood it right, 20-foot between buildings when 50 foot's required? Why we wanted that tight or that congested, if that's the right word?
There are other developments in town, with the same type of development, multifamily with the same distance between buildings.
Plus, you wanted to pull it back off the hill, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, it came down off the hill.
You asked them to come down to keep it lower, so that's part of the other reason.
Did we have the fire department review this?
They've reviewed it, yes.
And they're okay with that?
Yep. We provided a letter to the board.
Okay. Let me open to the board. Any questions?
Just to confirm, there's no changes on that plan?
No, we haven't changed the plan since I think like June. I mean, we do need to go back to the DEP. That's one of the reasons for the neg deck. They won't give us technical comments until neg deck is part of the completeness.
I think we can do a couple of things in parallel here. We'll need a motion to adopt the secret neg deck, and we'll also need a motion to deny to the ZBA. We can do them both in parallel.
I'll make a motion for the resolution of the Planning Board of the Town of Carmel, number 25-23, September 11, 2025, tax map number 55.14-1-35, 26.321, 26.322, 26.323, 26.324, Carmel Residential, 119 Seminary Hill Road, Carmel, seeker determination of significance negative declaration.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to deny this to the ZBA.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Joe, we left the written comments open, although we closed the in-person public hearing. Do I need to close the written comments for the public hearing?
No, you already put a deadline on
We gave a deadline, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
Nice
you guys have to
changes.
stamp the plans? Is that still a thing?
Yes. Excellent. Next on the agenda, 100 Bucks Hollow Road, self-storage, amended site plan. Mike?
The applicant proposes to add 6 self-storage buildings to the existing Lemcar property off Bucks Hollow Road in Mahopac. Property is in the CB Carter Business Zoning District. Self-storage warehouse is permitted principal use in the CB district. Why are they not including tax parcel 752276? It's shown on the plan, but not listed in the submission. 26 is in the MDR, the Medium Density Residential Zoning District. It appears that 1 or 2 of the units are on lot 76, so maybe highlight that line so we can find it. Provide a detail of all existing tenants for the parking calculation, use and area for each tenant. A variance is required for lot coverage, 45% is allowed, 70% provided, 25% variance. What is the building height? 35 feet is allowed. It says less than 40 is proposed. Is that 34, 35? It's not.
8.6.
Okay, if they could put that on there, because
Yeah.
not all of less than 40 is less than 35.
I'm sorry, what was the answer to the height of the building?
I believe it's 8'6". They're the. I can show
So they're all one level?
you. Yeah, one level,
That's fine.
8'6".
Okay.
It just said less than 40, and 39 is less than 40, but it's still more than what's allowed.
Fair
That's all.
enough.
That's all.
Thanks, Mike. Rich?
So Mike, as Mike mentioned, 6 self-storage buildings with 166 units on the property, which lies in the Corridor Business Zoning District. The proposed self-storage buildings are a total of 29,600 square feet. Referrals to the New York State DEC, Putnam County DOH, ECB, Highway Department, and Mahopac Fire Department. The New York State DEC for stormwater and wetlands, ECB for wetlands, and Town of Carmel Highway Department because of access just to the road, to make sure they're okay with that. I don't think there's any new cuts, but just to make sure. Wetland boundaries will need to be verified by the New York State DEC due to the updated regulations. The SWIP for a stormwater pollution prevention plan has been provided. It's under review. There's 1.9 acres of disturbance, so that requires permanent stormwater features, which is why we are going toward the wetland, because they show a proposed basin down there within the wetland area. So there's also, so the way, again, this site, if you've not been there, where they're building the buildings is higher up. I don't know what the delta is on the topography, but the stream goes down below. So there's, when you look at the wetland boundary, if you look at it just on a planular level, yeah, the top of the building enters into the wetland area, but it's not really true because it really is a sheer cliff that goes down. There is a wetland or a stream that runs behind it where part of the driveway is. So again, all that, they've shown it on the drawing, they just need to probably make sure the DEC is okay with it and probably go to the ECB on that stuff too. We are not taking ownership, the town will not take ownership of the proposed stormwater management practices. All regrading, applicant has provided a regrading plan, and there's some minor comments with that. They should show better traffic vehicle movement plans on the site. Maintenance agreement would have to be put into place, and public improvements also should be, there'll be a performance bond and engineering fee. There are some more detailed comments which, these guys can get to. They're relatively straightforward and can be addressed relatively quickly by Insight.
Thank you, Rich. And Pat?
Will there be lights on these two? I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah, we showed lights.
You did? Okay.
We did.
And you have a,
There was a lighting plan.
So, Mr. Chairman, the issue we have with these facilities is really how they operate. So as Mike indicated, permitted use in this zone, they do need the variances that were indicated. But, so there's existing buildings on the site today. Some of them are storage buildings, some of them have more intensive operations on there. So if this is a typical self-storage facility where people bring their Christmas decorations, that's one thing. If it's used for commercial operations and contractors prep materials before they go off to the site in the morning or whatever it might be, that's a different operation. So we need to understand, Zach, how the site's gonna operate. The plan shows that each of these units has a garage door, and there's parking, but it's sort of behind the units. So if I have my U-Haul bringing my stuff there twice a year, and I park at the garage door, can somebody get past you? How does that work and how does it operate? And is that the nature of the business? So as Rich indicated, this traffic circulation is something we have to understand a little bit better. And oftentimes it's useful to provide some parking near the building itself rather than in the back, because nobody's gonna park there if they're simply going to their garage door. Elevations, so they gave us some elevations. Self-storage buildings are an issue sometimes. There's good ones and there's bad ones. Granted, this is behind the buildings, the existing buildings, but as Rich indicated, it's a little higher. There is a residential street to the south or east of this, which may have views. So the notion of the aesthetic of the building, in addition to you being the architectural board, it may be visible. So we want to know what it's going to look like, and there are some terrible self-storage facilities. We want this to be a nice self-storage facility. So we need to know a little bit more about that, Zach. There is a note on one of your drawings. It's a landscaping note, but there's no landscaping shown. So clarify that if you're giving us landscaping or not. Mike indicated there is lighting that's shown. They're below 1 foot candle around the entire boundary, so they're okay with that. And any utilities, so are the buildings being served by utilities? Will they have power in them? Is there going to be an office in any of the buildings? I noticed there's an office in one of the existing buildings. How does that operate? Are they dry buildings and whatever? So if you could explain that,
Yep.
Jack, that would be helpful.
Yeah, dry buildings. There'll be an office space in one of the existing on-site buildings up front dedicated to this storage use.
I'm sorry, so one of the existing buildings today,
Yeah,
there'll be an office in that?
correct.
For this storage?
Yeah, well,
facility?
as part of addressing Mike's comments, we'll get into the layouts of the existing buildings. Right? That was one of Mike's comments. The idea would be to have an office in this building right here. This is the existing addition. I'll start with Mike's comment. This is the lot that's in the residential zone. The existing pad that's here now is over it. We did show a building here. So we're going to work with the owners. It would need a use variance if the building stays, and if the building is pulled out, then there wouldn't need to be a variance.
Or if you go and ask for a change of
Right.
zoning for that lot.
The
is
third
other
option is change of use. Right.
I
So
don't know
we
which
have,
one
we have,
costs more, I don't know the deals.
we'll be talking to the owners to figure out which one is the best, what they want to do, and, because if you remove the building out of here, there's no buildings on that lot. It stays as
I
is.
spoke to Mr. Lemons the other day, and there were 3 options, same
Right.
thing. So.
Exactly. So we'll work with them to figure out which one is the option they want to go with.
Questions from the board?
What type of screening do you propose for the facility, like to the residential neighborhoods? You're going to do fencing, landscaping?
So the residential neighborhood is here. I mean, I don't know that we showed any screening there, but we certainly could do something here. The grade does drop a little bit. Yeah, we'll work through those comments.
The height of those 3 buildings are 8 foot.
8'6". Yeah, so these buildings out front are larger, much taller than that.
And there'll be single access from the.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's like a sidewall, and it's your standard storage facility.
Any idea on the type of building yet? I mean, manufactured, steel, or?
Yeah, steel, metal building.
Please finish.
Okay.
There's a house, right, where actually the planning board sign is on the property of a residence, right? And this seems to be kind of behind that residence, right? It's almost like a flag-shaped piece of property, right? You go in, it's gonna be to
Is
the
that
left.
this one here?
Who's the homeowner? Is the homeowner part of this complex?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
No.
Wasn't that homeowner, that property next to him, before us on another application?
Are you talking, if I'm standing on the
Property
road to the left?
Property to the
Yeah.
north.
Yes.
That's the Gasbury.
Yes.
Gasper's right here.
The Gasbury, the
Oh,
one that's
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently in front of us trying to do a
Right.
storage building in his backyard.
What I was saying is, since it borders a residence, I think early on, when the opportunity is there, I'd like to start seeing renderings on it, and see what options are available as far as the aesthetics and what the building.
Of the building, yeah, sure. We'll work with the owners to figure, to come up with a version that's, again, from the street, I think you're going to be blocked by all of the other buildings, and we can certainly explore landscaping up front, also along the southern edge. And yeah, we'll work,
So, we know this is industrial area, it's fine, it's well-run. You just mentioned about, you'll explore some options. Even though it's an industrial area, it'd be nice if we could do something on the road. I'm not saying hundreds of thousands of
Sure.
dollars to be spent, but you've been here enough to know that we always want to
leave it
try
better
to
than you
improve.
than
Yeah.
you started off, yeah.
Yeah, just, I don't know what the answer is,
Mm-hmm.
but something.
Sure.
Right, I think as long as I've lived here over 30 years, the area hasn't changed, but let's change it a little bit and beautify it a little.
Sure.
Even if you cleaned up the sign a little, I think that would help, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. A little simple thing with that, having the wings sticking off,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a simple little fix.
Sure.
Make it a nice, new, attractive industrial area.
Question, on the eastern side of the property, meaning the right side of your map, yeah, are there, what's beyond the property line?
Woods.
Hunter's Run's open space, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of woods. There's a large DEC wetland back further from here, like the.
So
kinda
there are
over
no
here.
view issues on that?
Not on that side, no.
Okay.
What's the present use of the back portion of this property?
It's in a flat, open pad.
We need a motion to declare lead agency.
I'll make a motion to declare the planning board lead agency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is 355 Huguenot, 85 Glenita Avenue for a site plan. You're on a roll here, Zach.
This is the last one, I promise, guys.
Mike, I believe you had some comments on Glenita Avenue?
The necessary variances were granted by the ZBA, however, there's a condition that the variance for the type of, for this type of business only, and the 0-foot variance for the cemetery must be obtained. They only came in and got the variance on this lot. The property, it actually goes over the property line, so the cemetery also has to get a 0-foot variance. I don't know why it wasn't all done together, but
Project attorney's already submitted back
Yeah.
to the ZBA.
it's in.
Yep, it's in already.
Rich?
The only thing I had asked for prior is a water sewer use report for review. There were no site improvements, so we don't have any additional comments related to the project.
And Pat?
Same thing, Mr. Chairman, no site improvements, no site planning issues.
I know we've kicked this around for a while. Any new comments here? Not a lot we could do with this, really. I mean, I think.
Our request would be to schedule a public hearing for
Yeah.
the first meeting in October. We're at the meeting at the end of this month for the variance for the ZBA.
Yeah. All right, that is our next step. Someone make a motion, to schedule a public hearing, please.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to schedule a public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
For October, for the meeting, first in October, right.
Next on the agenda is People USA, 1071 Stoneleigh Avenue, amended site plan. Mike, I believe you had some comments on this?
Yeah. Last month, or last time they were here, I said, is there a buffer proposed to the residential property to the north and east? You showed some pictures, and there is a natural buffer there, but in the future, if you're gonna do that, just tell us what direction we're looking so we aren't trying to figure out, I don't know exactly which direction I was looking at the pictures. How is the parking going to work? I understand that it complies with zoning, but if you're gonna have 9 employees and 6 guests, that takes up 15 spaces right there. I came out to 32 total, and you only have 27 on the lot, so it's just something that you have to consider. I know that it complies with zoning, but if you're gonna need more, you may wanna provide them now. The lighting spill plan, I wrote that it's 0.1 in a few places. I thought it was 0, but apparently it's 1 foot at the property line, so that's good. And the environmental constraints map was submitted, and no other comments.
Thanks, Mike. Rich?
So again, the applicant has noted comments that referrals to the Department of Health and Fire Department are required. They have provided letters from Putnam County DOH and the Fire Department. The applicant will explain what those letters said. They were positive, though. Applicant, excuse me, wetlands delineations were provided. They noted the comment. They should note that any work within the wetlands buffer of 100 feet will require approval from the town ECB. Area has noted that the area of disturbance will be less than 5,000 square feet, therefore no stormwater regulations kick in. They need to just provide some of the slopes of the driveway, and should any public performance bond, public improvements and associated engineering fees should be provided. The applicant has noted that comment.
Thanks, Rich. And Pat?
So when they were last before us, most of our comments related to how the facility operates. So the applicant provided a detailed response to all of those issues: hours of operation, number of employees, how people are transported to and from the site. All of those issues would be, if you move toward approval, would be established as conditions of approval. So let's hope that representation is correct, because you will have to live with all of that representation. But they responded to all of the concerns or questions we had with how the facility itself would operate.
So it's been a while since you've been in front of us. Maybe you can give us a little overview again for a couple minutes. I remember it was a 24/7 operation, no overnight guests, if you will. Maybe give us a little synopsis.
You want the overview of the use of the space?
Yes, please.
Oh, sure. So it's very similar to an urgent care center where people can walk in, get served for behavioral health or substance use issues. They don't stay under the license. They can't stay longer than 23 hours, 59 minutes. Our average, as I had said last time, in Dutchess County is about 6 hours that somebody's with us. We get them into services, transported to where they need to go. The issue with the parking, just to mention that, the 9 employees were for 24 hours, so at any time, there's probably in the daytime maybe 4 employee cars there, and then overnight there might be 2 to 3. So it's not all 9 that are there during that one period. So it's to cover the 24 hours. It's basically really addressing people's crises before they have to get to the level of going to an emergency room. And the whole idea behind this is to avoid the trauma of emergency rooms and the waits that people usually have, and then the unfortunate discharges that they have, not getting the care they need. And we are the organization that is providing the care that people need who walk through our doors.
Is this operation going to be on a lower level when you go up, or be on a lower level?
Yeah, so the lower level is about 3,900 square feet or so, and we would occupy the entire lower level. The upper level is the dentist office and the chiropractor.
Mike, you mentioned the parking. It is kind of free-for-all, if you will, with the parking. It doesn't really seem like there's any clear delineation, any clear parking space.
It's going to be better when they delineate what they show on the plan. That will help, obviously.
Yeah.
They do have a spot right next to the door, which is also helpful. It's just if you have a dentist and the dentist has 2 people in chairs and 2 people waiting to go in chairs, that's 4. You know what I mean? It's just not a...
Yeah, so when we calculated the parking based off of the chart, obviously it was for medical, which would be...
Yeah, and I said you comply.
would take into account some of that waiting. The
health department, when the engineer was asking us about the number of employees, he kind of wanted like this worst case so that he could show that the septic system would work. So even in his report, it said approximate, but again, like Steve had mentioned, that's over multiple shifts, not that one shift or one group of people there at a time.
Yeah, and that's fine. I wasn't I said you comply.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work, you may want to up it now. You don't want to come back to add 3 parking spots because you need it. That's all I was saying.
100%, correct.
Is the landlord designating parking spaces? Will there be signs, People USA parking, that sort of?
Yeah, there's other parking behind the building where the dentist uses, correct?
There is, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
It's gonna be
designated.
Oh, but we could easily designate.
We can
Yeah.
maybe put we can address that on the plans and put signage for that.
We don't like signs, if that's okay. No offense, and I don't mean that.
Okay.
We'd rather not, but, yeah.
How would you deal with Mike's issue? That's what I'm getting at.
You comply, but you may not be able to work within your compliance, is what we're saying. For the whole building, not just you, everybody.
Yeah, correct, yes. We have talked about that. I think, I just got this late this afternoon, so I think we have to have internal conversation and talk to the landlord a little bit to get, I guess, a better understanding of their use and how often, the
Yeah,
turnover of
Mike's pointing out this
patients.
is your problem.
100%.
How can we help you address it?
100%.
That's what he's getting at right
Yeah,
now.
100%.
Because if you come back again and all of a sudden the total project between this one and the last one becomes 5,000 square feet or more of disturbance, now you have to do a SWIP the next time. It's just helping you, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Trust us, we're helping.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question I had, I understood what you said about avoiding urgent care and, the crisis that somebody might be in. What I don't have a clear understanding of is, where do these people get shipped to? Where, when you say get them the care they need, what is that care?
Yeah, we have providers in Putnam County itself that we work with who are not us. There are other providers that do clinic services, detox, rehab, and then we have partners outside of the county, similar to what we do in Dutchess, where if they have to go to other counties or other areas in New York State or Pennsylvania or wherever, we get them transported to those sites. So we have a good way of moving people through the system and getting into those services, which are either community-focused or they might be a little out of the community.
In your 24 hours, are all those other, call them recipients, are they 24-hour as well? The places you're
Well,
dealing with?
the detoxes and rehabs are. Mental health, they're not. But we do have a house in Garrison that is 24-hour, that if they need overnight, they can go to that facility.
Will your clientele be generally from this area?
Yeah.
You're not going to ship people from the city up here?
No, we're actually building another one in Westchester to meet their needs, and then we have here, we have Dutchess, and then we'll have Ulster soon, too.
And how many people do you anticipate or estimate coming through on a weekly basis?
Yeah, based on population, I mean, we did kind of a...
I'm sorry, you're going to need to use a microphone to
Yeah.
state your name.
Based on the percentages from the population in Dutchess to the population from Putnam, we're estimating about 5 to 7 guests per day. So that would be,
Yeah.
it's too late to do math. I have a toddler, sorry.
It's okay.
Probably around between 1,500 and 2,000 a year. Yeah.
And just, if I can characterize this, so to use the vernacular of my generation, this is somebody's having a bad trip, and they bring them here. That's essentially
No,
what's going on,
well-
and then you put them into some place to
Yeah.
be stabilized to deal with what's going on.
This could be people that are ready for rehab, that are ready for detox. This is mental health issues or depressions, hearing voices and things like that. So it's a mix, but the average is about 70%.
So why wouldn't they go directly to a facility? If they're ready to go to detox, why do they have an intermediate step with you?
Because unfortunately, our system of care doesn't promote that.
Really?
So, yeah,
Interesting.
we created this because the system doesn't promote that. And we've been more successful with our professional partnerships and getting people into services rather than somebody just calling and saying, hey, I need help.
One
So
last,
you're directing that traffic, basically?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
And is it mostly drug?
No, it's about 35% substance use to the other 65 or so is mental health. Yep.
and where is your funding coming from?
Comes from the county right now, but it also comes from Medicaid to make it self-sustaining. And then hopefully in the future, it'll come from the state of New York as well as a supplemental.
How would you handle, this has been on my mind, how would you handle somebody coming in, whether it be substance or mental health,
Right.
and the situation escalates into violence or agitation? How do you handle that?
It's very rarely happened because it is voluntary, which makes it a lot easier, to de-escalate. If it does happen, we do have close partnerships with the police departments. And if we've had to use them, which is very rare, they will come and help.
So you're not going to put any signage down on the road or anything like that? This is, how do people know you're there?
Well, I think we'll need a sign. There's a sign there now. We'll need something there that says, I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but stabilization. We don't want to call it a stabilization
asked,
center.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
terrible name.
Yeah.
It's like a wellness center or something like that. So we're playing with the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the road, there is a sign that has separate slots for each tenant. So
Yes.
we are working on that. It wasn't part of this package, but hopefully it'll be part of the future, and we will slide into one of those
Yep.
slots.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We'll also have, just back to the parking, we were planning on having a directional sign once you enter the site, when you get to the parking, that'll kind of direct people that the dentist and chiropractor are on the back side of the building and that we're in the front side. So we are working on kind of directional and kind of pointing people in the right direction.
Just make sure you show that on the plan, please.
Yeah, we haven't worked it out yet.
I know,
so
but
that's
just,
it
it's
will
something
be
that we have to know
100%.
where it's going.
Well, we would like all of that to be part of the approval and not have to come back for that. So we're just working on the details of that.
The whole traffic flow there is a little odd, because if you go up the hill and if you make a right where you're going to be,
Yeah.
you can go all the way around, then there's a dirt road at the end of the building, that takes you up top. So it's blacktop, then it becomes dirt around the turn, and then you're up on the upper level. So I don't think you want people going around, that way. You want people to exit the same way they came in.
I'm not sure.
If you leave the dentist office, you can go either way to exit.
We are changing that to be
okay.
one way. So
Yeah.
we're going to have everybody come through the lower level and up around the back and come out. So we're changing the direction of that. The spaces in the front are actually turned on a 45-degree angle. Right now, they're 90 degrees facing the street, and we're turning them on a 45-degree angle so that we can create that one-way traffic in and
It'll be a
out.
loop.
It'll just be a loop.
Everybody will do that loop to go around.
And again, that'll help with, again, the directional signage will kind of help direct people
Yep.
in the right.
As Mike said, make sure you show it.
We plan on it. We're actually working with a sign company now to kind of work out the details, so we'll be adding that to the package.
Is the name of the business People USA?
Yeah.
So if you put People USA on the front of the building, meaning facing Stoneleigh, people will know to go past it to get around back too, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Any other questions from the board? If not, we need a motion to schedule a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great,
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Centennial Golf Course, 185 John Simpson Road, amended site plan. Last but not least.
Yeah, but I gotta find out where they.
So Pat, Pat, so I think we ought to just do the two amended site plans together, right, at least?
So I think Chris can present it as one unified thing. Eventually, we'll take 3 different actions with
Right.
respect to it, but they can present it. It's a unified plan.
Yep. Hi, Chris.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Chris Laporta, Pastro Engineering.
Let me go through the consultants first, and then we'll
Oh, sure.
ask you for an overview. Mike?
Just a question, where are you with the parking in Southeast? That should probably be step one, so that they can get the parking over there, so that they can take the parking out to put the buildings in. So that's one of the first things. You state that it'll be not central garbage. Are there locations for the fire department truck turnarounds, the best locations for Road A and Road B? If the truck pulls in, it's gonna have to figure out how to make a turnaround, and I don't know if those locations are ideal for them. Just figure it out, make sure it is. County Highway Department and Fire Department, oh no, that's wrong, sorry. Provide an easement for the circular driveway for the review by Joe Charbonneau. There was no response, that was from last time. Variances were granted by the ZBA, side yard and building spacing. Fire department should also be consulted for the best location on the fire hydrants as well. You say comment noted, but I didn't see a response. Did they give you any response back on that?
We did. We've had meetings with the fire department, and when we were in front of the ZBA, they sent a letter to the zoning board saying they have no opposition to the project.
They had no objection to the variances, but I think you should discuss with them where you're putting the actual hydrants.
Yep.
To
And
make
we
sure
have
that
done that.
they're the most accessible for them, that's all. Just so they're not pulling hose all over. They can park next to it, get it easily done, that's all. Simplifies it for them.
Okay.
And Rich? Thanks, Mike.
So the applicant has provided 3 packages. We're looking at it as one, so I'll focus on the townhomes one, because there's the golf course one, where a lot of the comments were the same, and the responses were a little different, but not provided as part of it, so it's a little confusing, but it's fine. We'll figure it all out, right, on the grand scheme of things. They've noted that, commenced discussion with the regulatory agencies. The big thing you need to take from this is regarding the county and the Putnam County DPW and the water loop. There was discussions with them because they're looking to pave real soon, and they had presented, the engineering department that Weston and Sampson had reviewed 3 new options for that loop, but it ended up that 2 of them really weren't a loop, so the applicant now has in their hands, they can either, there's options, right? They can install the main now prior to the paving. They can install a crossing via horizontal directional drill to avoid any pavement disturbance, or install a pipe sleeve now prior, again, once before any of the paving gets done. So that's up to the applicant to provide that information. There were some other comments within that 8/8/25 memo from Weston and Sampson that really needs to be addressed. There's a whole bunch of other there's comments in here that still kind of need to be addressed, but they've noted most of them, which is great. Driveway and/or roadway, so if you're in the roadway, it's 12-inch, item 4, 3-inch base, 3-inch binder, 2-inch top. I know you're not dedicating these to the town, so if they are not, they stay as a driveway. It's 832. Base binder and top. If you ever have an intention in the future to dedicate it to the town, just be aware that it would be better if you put the 12-332 now versus trying to get a special road improvement district in the future. It would, be more problematic with the highway department. One suggestion that I noticed now with the project going on at Gateway Fairways, which I didn't pick up on, but because of that, I picked up on this. All your water shutoffs have to be at the curb, so they cannot be like close to the, because again, if the town ever takes ownership of these things, then we're responsible from the curb box to the home, and the closer it is to the home, the more we're disturbing, front lawns, which we don't want to do. That would be the homeowner's responsibility as a line in there. And Mike mentioned municipal garbage. I guess you're doing individual pails. Just confirm that with the assessor, how this is going to be designated. It's probably single-family homes. I think that's what it'll be called. But if it's considered multifamily, it's a different type of garbage pickup. We have two types of districts in town. I think it's going to be the single, family with the individual pails. So. Just real quick, sorry, Pat.
No?
I don't know what I just did. And then for for the golf club one, which talks about what Mike mentioned, so again, just go through that. You mentioned that they were drawings that were referenced to, they're not relevant to that, so you might want to pull back and just, you're saying these sheets were there, but they weren't provided as part of that package, because they're not part of that package. So just go back through that, when next time you submit it, address those comments, and just get rid of those things. It's just more of a housekeeping on the documentation thing. Sorry, Pat, go ahead.
Thanks, Rich.
So, as you remember, Mr. Chair, we spent a long time with this application. We've been living with it for a while. It's matured to a point where it's in good shape. The last time they were before us, the concern we had was Southeast. So who goes first, the cart before the horse? That was confusing. They've been to Southeast. We haven't heard about what you got from them, so it'd be interesting to know what they said about timing, their issues associated with this. We haven't heard yet, so let us know about that. They have their variances in place. Where we are in the process is we're ready to go to public hearing on this. And it's been a lot of work to get to this stage, but we're at the stage where we're ready to go to public hearing.
I will, yeah.
Chris, you want to give us a little summary of where we are?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to appear to give an update on the status of the project. We received our variances for all three applications. The off-site parking, the variance for the lot size area to be transferred in the lot line revision, and then the 2 setback variances for the townhomes. We also have been to the town of Southeast. We've presented. We're through the public hearing process now. The public hearings are closed. We've addressed their comments, and they've asked us to put in our application for the final site plan approval. They have a final application that we fill out. So we've been coordinating with them. Some of the items on there, one of them requires the DEP documentation, but they agreed that since we need to go through DEP to get the approvals here in Carmel, they actually gave us the go-ahead to submit that final application to Southeast now, so we're in the process of that and should be doing that this week. We've also received our updated wetland verification map from DEC. The wetland flags did not change, so that's good there. We also have had a meeting with DEP. We met them on site, walked the site with them, and they didn't have any real comments. We've met with them a few times now throughout the evolution of this project. The direction we went with stormwater management was actually the direction that they pushed us in to do the stormwater wetland in the buffer area. So that application is actually ready to go in too, and we're targeting to get that in to them tomorrow as well. And we have also, as Rich mentioned, met with the county DPW. We discussed a few alternatives because there was some concern about cutting up the new road, and their initial preference was, well, can you make the connection to the water main before crossing the road? And we discussed that and got some feedback from W&S, and ultimately it was still desired that we maintain that connection point over by Hillendale, so we plan to do that still. We've been speaking with directional drilling contractors, and that's our primary plan right now. Although I do like the idea of a sleeve, so if we're able to pull that off and talk to the contractor while they're there, we'll certainly do that. That's but we are, moving forward with the plan to make the connection at the point that we originally discussed. With that, we did submit the drawings. It sounds like there's still a few technical items to iron out with Rich, and we'll continue to work on that. But we just wanted to come back now since we've made some progress, obtained those variances, made the headway in the town of Southeast, and talk about process. Our hope is that we could get a public hearing scheduled and commence that process.
Thank you, Chris. Questions from the board? It's as Pat mentioned, we've reviewed this many times. Did we Did we see a rendering of the buildings, the townhomes, or houses?
Yeah, we
We did,
did.
right?
We had a visual, it was part of that visual study package.
Yeah, I think we ought to bring that when we get to a public hearing. I think you ought to have that with you.
I think the zoning board saw it. I don't think they've seen it yet.
No,
though.
I think there was a major package on
It was definitely at zoning. I don't know if it ever came here, did it? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was at zoning.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they were a lot of variation of white, right?
What's that?
The townhomes were all white siding.
Were they all white siding?
It was like
Courtney?
vertical white
Be able to-
Maybe you can just take us through it, because we know we've seen it, but it's been a while.
Good evening, members of the board. Kevin Moses with Toll Brothers. Nice to see you this evening. They were a variety of lighter color tones. I can't recall specifically. It was entirely white. Was not prepared to go through the architecture again this evening. I'm sorry.
Public hearing, but I do remember seeing.
You can
obviously-
certainly bring them to the public hearing. We'll bring all the visuals.
Of course.
3-bedroom units, or?
They are 3-bedroom. Yes, sir.
2-bath, 3,
Yes, sir.
how many square feet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's what I recall.
Call it 2,000 to 3,000 square feet.
How much?
2,000 to 3,000 square feet.
I'm actually curious to have the public hearing. So I think we're going to need 3 motions to go to the public hearing. We're on number 5 right now, 185 John Simpson Road, amended site plan. Do we have a motion to go to the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to go to the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And again, the Centennial Golf Townhomes, 185 John Simpson Road, amended site plan. Need a motion for a public hearing?
I'll make a motion there for a public hearing as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Centennial Golf Course, 185 John Simpson Road, lot line adjustment.
And I'll make that motion as well for a public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
See
much,
you in a couple
members of the
weeks.
board. Before we depart, I just would like to ask your preference out of courtesy as far as presentation style for the public hearing. Would you like us to kind of take the public through the entirety of the project at a higher level, in addition to going through the renderings, the site plan, the landscaping, kind of?
I think we've got to feel the audience out a little bit, but
Okay.
I think you should be prepared to certainly go through what Pat just showed you with the townhomes.
The
Are we
architecture.
calling these townhomes? What do we call them? What do we call them?
Townhomes.
Townhomes.
Is fair.
I think you should start off at a fairly high level
Yes, sir.
overview.
Mhm.
And try to stay out of the weeds unless they ask to see more details. And I think we should spend some time on what the buildings are gonna look like, and, traffic flow might come up. I think people will be concerned with, rightfully so, by the way, about traffic flow. Pat, anything? Find out during the public hearing? Yeah.
I think, can you compare?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What is Chairman,
Sure.
Yeah.
We can set you up on this on this TV. If you bring a computer, you can set yourself up to do that. We have an HDMI cord. You might be able to get the visuals up there a little better. Would be a suggestion if that's something you want to do.
That would
We
be
don't-
fantastic.
We haven't normally done that, but we do have that opportunity
Yeah.
to do it. Just let either Rose or myself know, and we'll make sure actually Vinnie has the remote for it, but we'll make sure we have the cable and whatnot to get you there, if that's what you want to do.
And show up 10 minutes early so we could
Yeah, we
make
make
sure
sure
everything
it
works.
I was just gonna say that,
course.
Mike. Usually you'd want to set up early for it.
I think that would be most beneficial for the public, so we'd be happy to do that.
HDMI. We haven't lost it yet.
So, prior to the public hearing, will we have the parking resolved?
We will certainly, before the public hearing, submit for final with the town of Southeast, and I think it's really about timing for them as far as getting that final approval back to us. They're a very efficient board over there, so I presume that.
Careful with that.
Oh, no comparisons whatsoever.
Well, that was a
But
slap.
they run a fairly tight ship, so I would think we would have a chance of having that approval back.
Anything else? You need to come up to the microphones. State your name.
Larry Boudreau with Centennial. What's the date of the public hearing?
It'll probably be the second Thursday in October,
Okay. Yeah,
I would assume. I don't think it's gonna be 2 weeks from now.
okay.
Is
Yeah.
it because Thursday to Wednesday? I don't
Yeah,
think
and I'd like to get the parking, it would benefit you to have the parking resolved.
Yeah, great. All right, thank you.
That would be the 9th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. If you weren't so efficient, we could put them to December, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Rose distributed the minutes of August 14th. Did anyone have a chance to review them, and do we have a motion to accept them?
I certainly did review them, made some minor comments. I proposed approving the minutes subject to those comments.
Second, subject to.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.